Greetings, adventurers! Welcome to Miniature Legends, a place where even the smallest of figures can be legendary. Today, I will embark onto a new project. Recently, I found myself in need of some new terrain. However, due to the fact that I'm involved with so many genres and settings in the magical worlds of miniature gaming, I decided to set myself some goals for this project. First, I want terrain which will give height to the play space. Line of sight blocking is important, and I want the terrain to take up a large table footprint. Second, I want the terrain to be playable, allowing models access to the height and to gain verticality. A flat battlefield is a dull battlefield after all. Stairs and ladders allowing access to the heights granted by the terrain. Third, I want the terrain to feel at home in a variety of places. Modularity of some kind built into the piece so that it can easily be reused without it clashing too much with its surroundings. After a brief brainstorming session, this is what I came up with. Brick platforms, with embedded doors, windows, and ladders built into the sides. The doorways will be detachable, allowing the entranceway to be easily swapped before playing, which gives a quick way to change the genre between sci-fi and fantasy aesthetics. The platforms can easily support additional terrain, barricades, objectives, bridges, and could conceivably be located in a variety of environments. With this in mind, I got started. I began with a paper template to establish the dimensions of my construction. Next, I placed my template onto a sheet of XPS foam and got to cutting. Wanting to ensure proper structural stability during gluing, I placed toothpicks to anchor the wall sections. Then, I put the walls in place with some tacky glue. I repeated these steps on a second, smaller platform. Next, I got to work carving some foam bricks. Then I placed them in a jar filled with stones, to weather them and smooth the edges. Afterwards, I got to gluing the bricks onto the platforms, using hot glue for the ground layer. Making sure to leave space for the detachable doorway. And then I used tacky glue on the remaining bricks. A quick trip to the 3D printer for some stairways, ladders, and windows. Once that was done, I began carving out a space for the stairway. And then glued it in place. For the larger stair sections, I drilled into the stairway and then anchored it with some glued toothpicks. Then I pressed the toothpicks into the bricks and drilled holes for the pick. Some tacky glue, and I was ready to slide the stairway in. For the brick pattern on top, I started by carving a simple pattern using a straight edge. Then thickened it with a pencil. A little trick from Black Magic Craft here. Next, some tinfoil to make a stone impression into the foam. And then we're ready to move on to the doorways. I started with a foam board rectangle, gluing an FDM stairway and door in place, then adding a rim of foam bricks around it. I sliced a few small bricks to add around the doorway in a tight pattern, using tacky glue to secure them in place. A quick door test, and it looks like we're ready to paint. I used the Blackmagic Craft mix of Mod Podge and acrylic black paint for the base coat across this entire piece. Then, a thorough dry brush of gray for the brickwork. For the fantasy doorways, I used a dark brown wood, an iron scheme. For the sci-fi doorways, I went with a dark bronze metallic look, using the same iron for the windows, and the same dark brown paint for the ladders. Next, I got some khaki paint to give some visual interest to the stonework, applying it irregularly throughout. Next, a homemade wash. Then a dry brush of khaki, focusing on highlighting the raised sections. Then, I went through and gave a variety of small highlights to bring back some color from the wash. For the wood, I glazed on some lighter browns to give a worn, natural aged wood look. And painted the terminals with a variety of metals and glazes for a more sci-fi look. One final test, and it looks like we're ready to see the final results. More fantasy, perhaps, then. How do you think the project went? Do you think I kept to my objectives? Please leave a transcription down below with your thoughts. I hope to see you again soon. Farewell, adventurers.